Now tell us about the challenges to Darwin's theory of evolution.
Now, in this book, I started first with the theory of the brainwashing and what I see as the consequences of people whose mindset is so fixed that they are really basically, I would think, anti the concept of a creator or a God. As a consequence, and I have many quotes from scientists that have worked the field, and those two groups. One are scientists that are true believer in Darwinism, and they are struggling very hard to try and find a solution. See, the bottom line is science cannot prove nor disprove either Darwin evolutionism or intelligent design. And so we have one group of scientists that are true Darwinists because they will not accept that there is a divine creator. They just will not. And I have quotes in here stating, but they will say, I've run into obstacles in their research to try and prove Darwinism at the basic creature level, and they cannot. And so there will be a phrase like, it's almost as if there was a miracle. It's like the chicken and the egg, which came first? And if you don't have this, how can you have that? So that's the second group that I have in the book. Incidentally, Darwin himself, when he developed that theory, he was honest, and he said, if during subsequent times one cannot find in the fossil record, then you have to forego my theory. But you don't find the modern Darwinists who will quote that. But in the third group now, these are now scientists who have struggled with it and have concluded it is impossible. It's life and human, or not only human, but animals are just so perfect that they cannot have been by chance. And one of the fallacies, let's use a bird, and let's go back to the concept. It was a haphazard flaw in one of those 3 billion items that when the parents, when they subdivided and created a new creature, and it had this change. One of the concepts of Darwinism, true Darwinism, is that if an accident occurs and the subsequent creature, animal, or whatever, gives it a better chance for survival in the competition for life, it will succeed and be carried on. If, however, it is not beneficial and is harmful, it should, that's his theory, should cease because there's no reason for it to survive. So I take the bird, and you look at a bird and you say, what does it have that makes it, because it flies, it escapes its predator because it can fly. It has wings, it has feathers, it has a very light body, it has twig feet, a beak, and it eats worms. Now, all of these features are unique, presumably an haphazard accident in the DNA. But by Darwin theory, unless they are all together, they are handicaps to survival, not benefits. That is the flaw. Now, as I quote, and also in the book, some of these challenging scientists, and they are in fields where they generally deal in mathematics or probabilities, and that's where they will say, in order to achieve this, the probability of, let's say, a chain of amino acids, 100, the probability is 1 in 10 to a 300th power. Now, to the 300th power, I think the average person has no conception of how small that is.
Small that is, right.
And so I'll give you a number. Since the Big Bang, 13.7 billion years ago, is only 1 10 to the 18th power seconds. And so the conclusion of my book and my challenging Darwinism by these most elite of our world, and I've got in there a very intelligent, outstanding people, and who I have great admiration for. Richard Cohen, the columnist, and I quote him and his smug, dismissive attitude of intelligent design, and also the New Yorker magazine. Now, these are bright, bright, bright people, but I think they have been brainwashed, and I'd be curious what would be their answer if they were to be exposed to a book like that. So, just in final, the scientists that truly challenge Darwinism, they cite the mathematical improbabilities, and it's absolutely astronomical, against Darwinism. Crick is the father of the double helix,
Okay.
and received the Nobel Prize about 30 years ago. He's now died. He was, by his own admission, an agnostic with a commitment to atheism. And his own words, how can it be? It's almost as if there's a miracle. But I'm going to keep trying to find a scientific solution. So intelligent design comes when the scientists have analyzed all the possibilities of Darwin evolution and say it does not satisfy.